Welcome to Money Adventures with TK, a podcast for the ordinary African who's determined to get their personal finances right. Willing to have a better relationship with your money? Well, this podcast is for you. Hello, fellow trailblazers. Welcome to another episode on my platforms, Escapes with TK on YouTube, and of course, Money Adventures with TK on the podcast. If you're new to my platforms, my name is Tokiso TKay Nthebe, and I'm a personal finance coach, travel enthusiast, and a lover of life. Now, on these platforms, we talk about everything personal finance, travel, and lifestyle. 4 things to always remember, particularly if you're new. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Engage with me by leaving a comment below to let me know what you think about the conversation. Share and subscribe this with your family and friends because we want to grow our community. And lastly, hit the notification bell, particularly on YouTube, so that you don't miss out on any new content on my platforms. Now, it goes without saying that life is difficult. What do I mean by that? Food prices, fuel prices are skyrocketing. Inflation is out of control. The cost of living generally is very difficult for a lot of people. And what is more worrying is salaries have remained the same. So now I remember a particular article where I was talking about the importance of increasing your sources of income. Now, many a time people will ask me, TK, how do I go about doing that? First and foremost, a lot of people have what we call the main hustle. This is your primary source of income. It could be in a corporate space, it could be in the public space, it could be in the NGO or non-profit sector space. This is how you make your money, preferably through 8 o'clock till 5 o'clock every single day. Now, salaries are not growing, and if they are growing below inflation. Inflation, for those who don't know, is the general increase in prices of food, commodities, fuel, and the likes as we see. So if salaries are not growing above inflation, in Lesotho, for example, inflation is at around 7.3%. So if your salary is growing at 3%, it means that there's no value in your money anymore, or the purchasing power has deteriorated. So if your salary is not growing, it then means that you need to think of ways to increase your sources of income. So how do you go about that? Usually I speak to my clients and I say there are 4 ways at least that you can go about monetizing and opening up new sources of income. The first one, hobbies. What hobbies do you have that you enjoy doing that you can monetize? It could be that you're a great cook, it could be that you're a great baker, it could be that you're a good mathematician and you enjoy tutoring. So what hobbies can you go about monetizing? The second one is what skills, knowledge, or experience can you use to monetize? A typical example would be, TK is an academic at heart, I'm great at economics, I can use my skills, my knowledge to tutor students and make additional sources of income. The third one is resources. What resources do you have? It could be that you're a videographer, you've got equipment that you can rent out. It could be that you have furniture, a car, a house that you can rent out to generate additional sources of income. Or it could be, and the last one could be, what digital skills or how can you use technology to make additional sources of income? We've seen people using social media to be influencers and getting paid for that. We've seen people starting online businesses that can literally help them generate additional sources of income. So what skills, what hobbies, what knowledge, what resources do you have at your disposal? Now, I'm a practical guy and I love to share practical things. I also want to share some of the things that I've done, what I call my side hustles that have worked or have not worked. Back in varsity, I used to be a student tutor. Great at accounting, I would help accounting students, particularly first years, with their accounting and I would get paid for it. So that's an idea that I did and I made additional sources of income from that. Secondly, I used to be, because I'm an academic and I'm a nerd and I'm a travel enthusiast, I used to do part-time lecturing. So Saturday mornings, I would literally sit in class with students, teach them tourism management, for example, do assignments with them, give the assignments and actually mark to do that. And that's another way I would make additional sources of income. The third side hustle that I did, I used to do network marketing. You know, when you sell those things and you ask people to buy certain products from you and you get a commission, and the more people you recruit, I did that, but it was really not for me. So I stepped away and I was like, miss me with that. Another side hustle that I did was using my skills. I love to speak in public, and of course I'm great at it, you know. So now being an MC or hosting different events has been one way I've increased my sources of income. So it could be that you have a hobby or a skill or a talent that you're great at that you should be thinking about monetizing. The fifth side hustle that I have done and tried is I used to sell ice. In fact, not used to sell ice, I sell ice. So Saturday mornings, I'll be that guy carrying the load, running from one venue to the next to deliver ice, and I'll get paid for it. Of course, it takes time, it requires equipment, and it requires that you buy the machinery to do that particular side hustle. The other side hustle that I've done before, and that really gave me a lot of money, was Airbnb. So a lot of people think, how do you generate money from Airbnb? So you sign up with the app, and of course you rent out your place temporarily to people who are looking for space. So for me in Lesotho, I've generated a lot of income, and of course I'm very tax compliant. So if the receiver of revenue sees and says, where's that money? I disclose all of that money. So another way you could use is, this is where you're renting out your equipment to make additional sources of income. And the last one that I've done, or that I'm doing now, is rental income. So over and above Airbnb, I do have rental income or rental properties that I use for rental purposes to generate additional sources of income. So there are many side hustles that you can do. For example, with the online way of doing business, you can sell digital products online. You can start a YouTube channel or a podcast channel, or you can use social media to make additional sources of income. So the question a lot of people always think or worry about is, how do I start? So depending on the type of side hustle that you want to begin, it is very important for you to do research. If I want to be a YouTuber, understand that it requires time, it requires resources, and requires capital at some point in time. The other thing that I also want to emphasize when it comes to side hustles, a mistake many people make when it comes to starting a side hustle is they want to do the side hustle during the main hustle's time. That's a disaster. So if you have your 8 to 5, do not do your side hustle during your 8 to 5, because you are compromising the main hustle for a side hustle. So how you go about it is you do your side hustles in the weekends, over the weekends rather, or after hours. So that means that between your 8 to 5, so between 7 in the morning and 9 p.m. the other time, that's when you do your side hustles. And of course, starting a side hustle also comes with pressure. It means that you're giving up time for family and friends. It means that you're giving up some sleep at times. Also, it comes with the mental pressure, because if you are managing your main hustle and you also run a side hustle is technically a business that requires time, effort, and energy. So you also need to be very mindful of your mental health, as it were. So a quick recap before we close this particular conversation. We are living in difficult times. So it's very important for us to consider how we create additional sources of income. You can do that by starting a side hustle where you can monetize your skills, your hobbies, your passion, your resources, your knowledge, and technology, because we are living in the technological era. So without wasting any more time, because time is money, I will wrap up today's conversation where we spoke about how to start a side hustle, how you can grow a side hustle, and of course I will link a few articles actually that I've written about this topic in the description. I always mess this up. So I'll link the articles below. And of course, I want to hear from you in terms of what side hustle you've started or thinking of starting, what the journey has been, what the experience has been, and what the learnings and mistakes have been. So this is my conversation for today. Remember to leave a comment below, like this video, subscribe so we can grow our community. And with that said, Money is an adventure. Let's enjoy that ride. Cheers, guys. You've been listening to Money Adventures with TK. I want to hear from you. Don't be shy to leave a comment, to share and subscribe. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Escapes with TK, and follow me on all social media platforms. Remember, money is an adventure. Let's enjoy the ride.